And I want you to see that the battleground of Hasatan is in the mind. If he's going to get to you, if he's going to deceive you, if he's going to plague you, if he's going to torment you, if he's going to destroy you, he's going to do it through your mind. And so let's read this very, very important passage. 2 Corinthians chapter 10, starting with verse 4. For the weapons we fight with are not fleshly, but mighty in Elohim for overthrowing strongholds of the mind, overthrowing reasonings, again, of the mind, and every high matter that exalts itself against the knowledge of Elohim. That's imaginations, vain imaginations, high matters that exalt themselves against the knowledge of Elohim. Notice, taking captive every thought to make it obedient to the Messiah. And so this passage tells us that if we're going to walk in victory, if we're going to be overcomers, then we're going to have to manage our minds. We're going to have to take captive the rogue thoughts that the devil places in our minds. Not every thought that comes to us that we think is our own. The enemy will place rogue thoughts in your mind. A thought will come raging across your mind. And you'll wonder, how in the world did I think that? Is that my thought? The answer is no. That didn't come from you. That came from the devil. That came from your adversary who's trying to deceive you, who's trying to accuse you, who wants to torment you with evil thoughts. So what do you do with those evil thoughts when they come into your mind? The scripture says, taking captive every thought to make it obedient to the Messiah. If that thought doesn't obey Messiah, if it's not a thought of righteousness, if it doesn't agree with Torah and all of Scripture, then you have to take it captive. You have to arrest it like a police officer who makes a stop and pulls a criminal out of a car and slaps the cuffs on him and takes him down to the jail and throws him in the jail cell. That's what you have to do with your thoughts. You have to arrest those thoughts that come from the devil. And don't receive every thought. Don't take credit, in essence, for every thought. Don't say, that's my thought, or don't own that thought. No, if it doesn't obey Messiah, it came from the enemy. And so you have to take it captive. You have to slap the cuffs on it and take it down to the jailhouse and throw it in a cell and lock up the cell and throw away the key and render it powerless so it has no effect on you. And then when you've done that, you need to replace that thought with more of the Word. You need to have the thoughts of Elohim in your mind, the Word of Elohim. And so take every thought captive. That's a very important key to walking in victory. And then Philippians chapter 4, beginning with verse 6, says, do not worry at all. People who worry are investing a lot of time and energy and thoughts and emotions into something that may never happen. It's a total waste of time. The scripture says, do not worry at all. But in every matter, by prayer, pray about everything, and petition, with thanksgiving, let your petitions be made known to Elohim. Verse 7. And the peace of Elohim, which surpasses all understanding, shall guard your hearts and minds through Messiah Yeshua. So by prayer and petition and giving of thanks, you are able to cause your hearts to be at peace and your minds to be at rest, because Yah says that His peace is going to guard your hearts and your minds through Messiah Yeshua. Then verse 8, for the rest, brothers, Notice, this is what you think about. Whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is righteous, whatever is clean, whatever is lovely, whatever is of good report, if there is any uprightness, and if there is any praise, think on these. And so when you take those rogue thoughts captive and you render them powerless, then you need to replace them with these types of thoughts, the things that are true and noble and righteous and clean and lovely, those things that are of good report, those things that are upright. If there's anything that's praiseworthy, you're supposed to think on those things.